let me love you.
Hey you guys, it's Midnight here, back for another video, and today I wanted to talk about my disappointment with Meme/Memindy. And I just want to let you guys know that Meme and Memindy are basically interchangeable. So if I say Memindy, just know I'm saying Meme, or if I say Meme, just know I'm also saying Memindy, pretty much. So, okay. The first issue that I have with her is just how unprofessional she is. Starting off with the whole situation in Macau. So basically, if anybody doesn't know what happened, basically Boss Noeul and Fortin Pete had a fan meet in Macau in which fans were following them into the hotel and stuff like that, even though Memindy always issues out a statement saying that they do not want fans sending them off at the airport or going into private spaces that they have no business going to. And then on top of that too, you have fans who were also purposefully ignoring Boss and Noeul. And there was also a fan who slapped Noeul's hand disrespectfully. And then on top of that too, Mame failed to pretty much confirm and clarify the whole entire situation. What also brings me to my second point as well. That basically Chen Ma took to his Twitter when the whole situation was happening, and he pretty much issued out a Twitter statement saying that, like, it is true that Noeul was disrespected by a fan. And also, too, that there was a video going around of a girl who pretty much was kind of like flustered during the event because obviously, you know, a lot of stuff happens at the event. So she was kind of like, you know, trying to quickly gather up her stuff and move on to let, you know, other fans, you know, give their gifts to the boys and get their poster signed and all that stuff. So she really kind of didn't want to hold up the line and whatnot. So Chenma basically clarified that whole situation for the fans. And then a couple days later, May put out a statement that Noeul had reposted, basically saying that, and this was like by the time like the whole situation pretty much died down, because Chema already confirmed and clarified everything for the fans. So a couple days later, May puts out a statement basically saying that she had called the boys and she asked them what happened, and that Noeul, you know, just like a fan had disrespectfully slapped Noeul's hand. Like, that's literally all that she put it. It wasn't like Chenma where his was like a lengthy statement, and he even like put out like several posts during that whole entire situation. Next is her constantly posting on her personal social media account. Like, every time something happens, she never, especially if it's like business related or business matters, she always posts it on her personal social media account, which I'm just like, sis, like, me personally, I don't follow her on Twitter. So it's like, sis, for people who do not follow you on Twitter, you also need to sit up here and make posts on the company's account. Because again, do not always assume that people are going to sit up here and follow you. And for me personally, like, honey, I know a lot of people who are just not a fan of her, and I'm included in that. Like, no, the only people I follow is obviously Boss and Noeul. I don't follow Pond, who is the CEO of Beyond Cloud. I don't follow him either. But I do keep up with, of course, Build, Bible, Mal, and Apple as well. So I just feel like people like her need to stop getting into this mindset that fans follow them specifically. No. And I would think that this would be like common sense. I don't think that you need to basically get a degree in business to understand that you should not pretty much talk about business matters on your personal social media account. And also too, like, she doesn't know how to separate personal from business matters. And then last but not least, the lack of accountability. I don't like it. And this also brings me to like another point that I have that I will talk like in a moment, but it just makes me so upset how she can't never just take accountability for anything. And then it's like, it's like she just gets mad. Like you could tell, like when she's making statements, like long, lengthy statements, she's like basically taking out her frustration on social media. And that's another thing. Now, my second point is the unethical business practices. And this is where I talk about the box set, which I'll be making another video basically saying, you know, what's in it and stuff like that. But I haven't got my box set yet. It's currently in transit as we speak. So I'm excited. Everybody else that I know got their box set. So, you know, stay tuned for that. But my issue with the box set is the fact that there were scenes that obviously we didn't get in the original Yishii version. And it just, like, I don't know. I just kept on wondering to myself why we didn't get those particular scenes. Like, what was the reason why we didn't get it? Obviously, I still don't know. So if anybody knows why we didn't get it, or just put down your thoughts and opinions, you guys can freely do that. Because I'm just still trying to make sense of the whole thing as to, like, why we pretty much didn't get it. And a lot of it was just cut, pretty much. So, yeah. But I got this like impression that the reason why we didn't get those scenes was because she was going to use it as a way to promote the box set, which I feel like is absolutely ridiculous. My thing is, like, I just feel like you should let your series pretty much speak for itself in terms of how good it is. So I just feel like it was just so unnecessary for her to not include those scenes and just use those particular scenes to pretty much promote the box set. Me personally, I already pre-ordered the box set regardless, obviously, because we didn't know what was going to be included other than like the poster, the acrylic standee, and photo cards, and etc., etc. So my thing is, like, I bought the box set with the initial intentions of just having it so that I can watch the series whenever it's convenient for me to watch it. So yeah, and honestly, I love Love in the Air, so I just didn't see the reason why to not pretty much have it. But again, like, I just found it very, very unnecessary for that matter. And another issue is her inexperience with editing and directing. This is a big one for me. Why I just very disappointed with her, because I was looking at the deleted scenes in the box set that she pretty much again used to promote the box set, and there was just a particular scene that really bothered me, and it was episode 6 deleted scene. And tell me how, like, in the beginning, because I watched the behind the scenes and I watched what ended up in the show, that same deleted scene that ended up in the show. And what really pissed me off is that, first of all, you could clearly see Payu hitting Rain from the back. And then it pretty much cuts into like Payu and like into Rain riding Payu in like the riding position. And so like it just didn't make any sense to me, because it pretty much cut when Rain was pretty much about to like moan and whatever. Like the scene within itself just did not make any sense. So it just baffled me that May would like hand this in, like, and even like the director and the editor would just be okay with this. Because I said, if it was me, I definitely would have told her and just been honest with her and just be like, girl, like, this looks like garbage. Like, because already like the audio in the series and pretty much in the special episode and all that stuff, it was really bad. Like the audio is really terrible. So I'm just like, at least you could just do better when it comes to like the editing and even like the directing as well. Because I just felt like there was really just no need to sit up here and cut the scene where, you know, Payu is clearly hitting Rain from the back. Like there's literally no reason why. And I don't blame anybody for feeling like we were robbed, because I do feel like we were definitely robbed. And then on top of that too, I just do not think that the box set is worth $100 and something USD. Like I truly don't. For it to just, again, and then on top of that too, like, and this is like to me the biggest thing, the fact that like I will sit here and stand 10 toes on the fact that we literally should have gotten the series pretty much separated. Like I feel like Payu and Rain should have had their own series, and Papa and Sky should have had their own series. Because when I looked at it, I was like, ain't no way. the fact that, of course, okay, so Payu and Rain had episodes 1 through 7, and then Sky and Popeye had episodes 8 through 13. It really made me mad how Payu and Rain only has episodes 4 and 6 extended. And then Popeye and Sky only have episode 12 that is extended. I said that is like, that is really like, I'm like, sis, like, I feel like what we're really getting from the box set is like the poster, the acrylic standee, and pretty much the photo cards. That's really what we're getting. But again, over like $100 and something USD is not worth it just to have only like 3 episodes extended in the series. I feel like she could have done more. Absolutely. And I also feel like I just don't understand why, again, the couples were joined together in one whole series. Like, I just feel like it's lazy. It's giving very lazy, especially when if Payu and Rain had their own series, like, there's so much content that we could have got from the book. There's so much more that we couldn't gotten. And then on top of that too, like, if you're a fan of Payu and Rain like I am, there's like a whole book. Like, their book is not even together. Like, if you're a fan of them, you could just buy Love Storm. Or if you're a fan of Popeye and Sky, then you could just buy Love Sky, and that's it. So for me personally, I just don't see the reason why she even combined the two couples in one whole series anyway. Like I said, I just feel like it's giving very rushed. The series was rushed. Everything was rushed. Probably except for like the special episode. And then also lazy. So that's pretty much it. And my last and final point is the fact that the pretty much the mistreatment of the artists. Like, the first thing is her blaming the artists for what is not entirely their fault. Like, for example, Noeul's visa situation. So basically, Noeul would not be attending the Korean fan meet in Korea, pretty much. Because 2 years ago, there was a whole situation dealing with his visa. So now, of course, he has to basically pay the consequences, pretty much. So he already paid the fine and yada, yada, yada. And so Maine pretty much put out a whole statement on her personal, of course, social media account. And she even did a statement on the company's account as well. However, they're two different statements. Main statement is basically just her taking out her anger and frustration on fans. And then the other one is just, I don't even know, because first of all, and this is another situation, this is just another part of her just being so unprofessional, is the fact that she asked the international fans to translate her freaking statement. And I'm like, sis, that's not our job. So I feel like that just goes to show that she does not care about international fans. Which I'm just like, I'm not surprised, because we are always either the last people to be thought of, or we're not thought of at all. Because as a BL fan, it's a really hard already to be out here buying merch already. So to add on this is just frustrating all around. So that was that whole situation. And then on top of that, Noeul already put out a whole video of him basically saying that he was not going to be able to go to the Korean fan meet. And he was very professional about it. He apologized and everything. And he even, basically explained the whole situation thoroughly. So I just don't really understand why they couldn't just follow behind Noeul when it comes to his professionalism. And that's just the fact that, like, after he said that, they could have just put out a brief statement and just went about it that way. And then on top of that too, they didn't do anything to be able to get him to get his visa. They didn't do anything. And then on top of that too, this whole situation should have been dealt with before. They went to Macau, they went to Vietnam, they went to Manila, they went to all these countries. So I don't understand why nobody thought to make sure that their visa status was up to par before they decided to go to Korea. So I really don't even understand. Like, the math is not mathing. It's not making any sense. And then on top of that, stirring up drama within the artist fandom. This is just another thing. And this, again, just goes with my whole point of the whole translating issue. Thinking that it's fans' job to be out here translating. And then on top of that too, like, just every minute putting the blame solely on the artist and not taking any responsibility as a freaking company. Because at the end of the day, and this is something that I feel like Mame just like doesn't understand, is that at the end of the day, the boys are signed to her. This is literally her series than it is the boys series. So it's like, if something happens to them, it's also going to affect you because they're literally signed to you. So if anything bad happens to them, that's going to fall back on her. And it's that's something that she just doesn't understand. So I don't understand why she refuses to pretty much take responsibility and just own up, and also put out professional statements on behalf of them. They shouldn't just be doing everything solely on their own. And even their managers. Like, I have to literally sit up here and say that, like, I really respect Chenma, because he's the only person that I feel like, besides the artists, like Boss, Noeul, and Pete, but he's the only one that I literally feels like actually cares about not only his client and even Boss too, but also he cares about the fans. He cares about the fandom as well, because he does make it easier for international fans as well. And then on top of that too, like, he literally puts out statements. He keeps us in the loop with everything. It's just, oh my God, there's just a lot that this man does that I just feel like it's not solely his job to do. And that's why I have so much respect for him. And I just love the dynamic that Boss, Noeul, and him have. Noeul and him are obviously like, they have this like father and son relationship. And then obviously Boss is like the son-in-law. And I just love it. Like, I truly love it. So I have so much respect for him as a freaking manager. And it's just sad how he's pretty much the only manager that actually speaks up and talks and actually does something and put in the work, which is sad. And then last and not least, again, like I said, her just not resolving issues. It's just, again, sad to see that Chenma actually put forth a solution to the whole situation in Macau. He literally said that they should do a paper trail, since nobody really caught that incident on camera, that they should do a paper trail and they should ban the fan who did that from future events. And I thought it was a good idea. I think a lot of people thought it was a good idea. But unfortunately, Mame didn't do anything. Mame didn't do anything with that situation. She didn't do anything with the visa situation until a couple days ago, probably like yesterday. And then on top of that too, like, she didn't do anything with the hotel situation. Like, nothing gets resolved. So that's pretty much all my disappointments when it comes to her and stuff like that, and even Memindy as a company. And so, like, I'm not really surprised. This is why I don't stan companies, and I don't think anybody should, as a matter of fact. So yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please do subscribe, and please let me know in the comments, like, what is it that you don't like about her and stuff like that. Let me know. And like I said, feel free to comment. So yeah, bye you guys.